My name is Dina. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Gameto. Gameto is a biotechnology company that uses cell engineering to develop novel treatments for women's and family health. As a physician scientist turned entrepreneur with a pair of ovaries, I myself witnessed that women's healthcare just lacks modern treatments. And while a lot of dollars and attention is being posed to consumer healthcare or healthcare delivery, women's health biopharma as a field is very, very small and neglected. We wanted to see better treatments that we wanted to use. We wanted our friends, our sisters, mothers to use and have better healthcare outcomes. So the main problem we're trying to solve is this concept of functional accelerated ovarian decline. And what does that mean? It actually means that ovaries lose function faster than the rest of our body. And therefore, most women, we experience fertility decline already in their mid-30s. So the first phenotype of that is infertility. And then later on is menopause. And not only that menopause brings loss of hormones and an array of physical, mental, sexual health conditions, but it's now we're understanding that it's associated with good health and life expectancy afterwards, and it affects things like our bone health, muscle health, mental health, cardiovascular health. So therefore, by providing treatments across that journey from infertility to menopause and beyond, we hope to improve the health of women at all ages. I think we have a unique opportunity to bring potentially numerous product candidates to the clinic and hopefully to the market, simply because there are just not that many treatments out there, and there are known pathways that have not been addressed, and also these diseases that are very common don't have even single treatments, right? So with that being said, you have an unmet medical need, and then you have patients on the other side who really want this. And I think we've certainly seen that with our lead asset, Fertilo, that patients have been the biggest advocates of this technology. We always think about the opportunity with the patient at the end, because ultimately people building this company, we were all patients in one aspect or the other. Women are half the population, and that things like menopause affect pretty much everyone, and 8 out of 10 women report very severe symptoms for which many would take treatments if they were safe and accessible. I think it has the potential to be that next big thing. The way we experience infertility and menopause is not really present in other species that we can test in the lab. People still argue which species experience menopause, but for example, there are 4 types of whales, potentially some primates in captivity, but not all. We don't really have good models to test this in the lab. We're in a situation that for years, not only that this issue was neglected for all sorts of reasons, we also didn't have good models to test it and to understand the basic biology. And then we didn't even have the computing power to then run all the possible combinations and come up with something tangible that we can actually test in animals, test in humans, that humans could actually do in a physical world. The way Gameto innovates in there, we really were the first to take this technology of induced pluripotent stem cells that allows stem cells to be used at scale, right? Without requiring multiple donors, without going into ethical issues. And we can have these ovaries in dish for a very long time in our lab, and we can then run multiple combinations that we've ran in simulation, millions of combinations of transcription factors to derive these cell types and to make these treatments. So by having this ovary in a dish platform, it gives us the basic biology. Using some of the advances in computational power, machine learning, and artificial intelligence, we're able to more rapidly assess those and then test them at first, obviously, in different and appropriate animal species and then human subjects. So that is really kind of how we think about solving the basic biology in women's health. First baby girl born with Fertilo turned 1 in early December of 2025. And we got from idea that I had when thinking about freezing my own eggs to this moment in, what is it now? I guess it's gonna be about 5 years, which is unheard of in kind of traditional biopharma space. And then the other place is just using AI for honestly operational efficiency. We always used to say in startups, particularly in top performing startups, there's, you cannot be mediocre, you always have to be hardworking, but I feel like right now that is really becoming true with AI, because one amazing person can now manage what a team of 10 used to manage. What I've learned while leading Gameto Gameto is that startups must maintain that adaptability as much as possible. Not to have unnecessary growth, not to have unnecessary bureaucracy, hierarchy, or standing meetings unless absolutely necessary, because we need to be able to respond to all of the changes rapidly and have to be ready for every situation, especially now in the age of AI, but even before. There's continuous, very fast-moving changes. They're changing in regulation. We, for example, had to navigate the company for many years with a very novel technology without knowing how it will be regulated in different jurisdictions. So that's probably the best piece of advice is, stay humble and be able to, change and pivot quickly.